So Batman calls me up and says he's going to be fighting Superman and needs to be the biggest, leanest, strongest Batman of all time. At first, I thought this was Bizarro World, but it happened to be real life. In this case, Batman was my client and friend, Ben Affleck, and the movie was Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. And Ben achieved all of his superhero goals and exceeded them, as was evident on the big screen, where he was 6'4", 220 pounds at 7% body fat, making him easily the biggest, leanest, strongest Batman of all time. No offense to George Clooney or Michael Keaton. So there began the quest to build another great superhero body. Now, let's be clear here. Building a superhero body and unleashing your inner superhero requires work. It requires dedication. It requires knowledge. It requires consistent persistence. And most importantly, it requires execution. Not dying for it, although some of the superhero workouts do feel like death. Execution in the sense of getting it done no matter what. A relentless pursuit of excellence, overcoming any obstacles in your path, like the Juggernaut. Or, as my man Sly Stallone would say in Rocky, keep punching. Every superhero has an origin story. Here is mine. I've been transforming bodies and building superheroes for over 25 years, writing 3 books along the way. I started off competing in powerlifting, bodybuilding, even winning the Mr. Texas title at one point. So I'm not only a preacher of superhero fitness, I'm a practitioner and an enthusiast. And now, armed with all that knowledge and real life experience, I can share with you how you too can unleash your inner superhero and be in the best shape of your life. Or as Spider-Man eloquently put it, with great power comes great responsibility. And when I take on a client, I feel highly responsible for their body transformation success. I'm like Vidal Sassoon. If you don't look good, I don't look good. But let's take a break from our regularly scheduled superhero programming and understand why it's important to build a superhero body for health and wellness. Obesity is now a full-blown global epidemic. We call it globesity. It's a real diabolical villain. There are over 3 million deaths per year directly related to obesity worldwide. That's almost the population of Chicago. There are 1.9 billion, with a B, people in this world who are overweight, and over 650 million people who are obese. Nearly 20% of all deaths around the world are linked to poor diet. Let that sink in for a second. In America alone, nearly 70% of the population is overweight, and about 42% of the population is obese. Obesity costs the healthcare system in America $149 billion annually, and another $66 billion from reduced work productivity. So it's bad to say the least. But the good news is there's hope, and it's preventable. Oh, and it's never too late to be what you could have been. There's one key word that is critical to the superhero body transformation process. Get familiar with this 13-letter power word. That is customization. You have to customize and personalize a program to allow you to have the best results possible. I call it the U diet. You have to understand your internal biochemistry. You have to understand your specifics to get the best results possible. We don't guess, we test. This entails the following: blood work. Blood work allows us to test cardiovascular function. It allows us to look at hormones like T3 and T4 to look at metabolic health. We look at muscle building hormones like testosterone, IGF-1, free testosterone, and SHBG. We look at that devastating cortisol or stress hormone to make sure it's not too high. And we look at organ health like kidney and liver to make sure you have optimal body function. Next, we look at food allergies. We want to make sure you're not allergic to any foods that are causing internal inflammation. We want to cut those bad guys out. Number 3, we do DNA and genetic testing. Genes encode body traits, and mutations in these genes, or single nucleotide polymorphisms, are more problematic than an IRS audit. So the goal is you want to maximize and express the good genes and suppress the negative, sort of harmful genes. Companies like MyGenix does DNA testing at a very high level, looking at health and fitness parameters. We look at genes like DRD2, ACTN3, ACE, FTO, which is known as the obesity gene, and even the clock gene, which can determine if you're a morning person or a night person. Genetics are very important because understanding your genetic predispositions can allow you to work with your body versus going against the wind and working against your body. Then we look at DEXA or body fat testing. We need to measure how much body fat you have, how much lean muscle you have. And this is a great monitoring tool that we can monitor and track progress throughout the superhero body transformation process. Next, we look at hydration. Hydration is critical because over 70% of skeletal muscle is actually water. I always say, a hydrated muscle cell is a happy muscle cell because it creates an environment for positive muscle growth. Hydration increases protein synthesis and can allow you to optimize body function, whereas dehydration can cause a loss of strength. It can break down muscle and even cause cell apoptosis or cellular death. So suffice it to say, stay hydrated, get wet, and stay wet. I would highly recommend that you consume at least half your body weight in ounces of water daily. So for example, if you weigh 200 pounds, I would recommend you consume at least 100 ounces of pure water daily. Next, we look at mineral balance, because if your minerals are out of whack, your hormones may be out of whack. You may be muscle cramping, and you may not be able to recover correctly. And then finally, we look at preferences. We want to know what you like to eat. If I say eat broccoli and you hate broccoli, you're not going to stick to the program. The greatest success of any diet for longevity is following the program and eating things you like. We want sustainability. It's a marathon, not a sprint, so we want to give you foods and exercises you like to do. So those are all the essential things you need to customize a superhero body program. Understanding your body fully and getting that blueprint really can maximize results. Hey, I can build a house by guessing, or I can have the blueprints and be very, very precise. By having your body blueprint, now you got to implement the 4 essentials to building a superhero body. I call them NESS: nutrition, exercise, sleep, and supplements. First and foremost, the base, the foundation, the backbone is nutrition. And Wigmore said, the food you eat can be the safest, most powerful form of medicine, or it could be the slowest form of poison. Studying diets for the past 25 years, looking at the research and science, and also implementing diets in thousands of people worldwide, I've come to a very important conclusion. And that is the best type of diet for many people is generally high protein, low to moderate complex carbs, and lower fat. This equates to a ratio of about 45% protein, about 40% complex carbohydrates, and about 15% essential fats. The most important macronutrient is protein. Protein is critical because your body can't produce it, so you have to get it from exterior sources. Protein helps build muscle, helps reduce muscle breakdown secondary to weight training. It boosts immune function. It can suppress appetite to lower all those cravings at night we all have. And finally, it may even boost strength. Protein and amino acids make up enzymes, hormones, and even transport proteins, so they are critical for bodily function. Great sources of protein include eggs, chicken breast, grass-fed beef, wild fish, and lentils and pea protein. Complex carbohydrate sources include oatmeal, brown rice, sweet potatoes, yams, broccoli, cauliflower, pineapple, spinach, kale, figs, and even dates. Good essential fatty acid sources include flaxseed oil, olive oil, almonds, walnuts, Brazilian nuts, and chia seeds. When it comes to exercise principles in the Superhero Diet Program, the key is intensity, because intensity builds immensity. You must train to muscle failure or muscle fatigue to really have the best results possible. Whether you're lifting super heavy weight for lower reps or light weights for very high reps, the key is muscle fatigue and muscle failure. That'll give you the most gains possible. Now we come to the first S in NESS, and that is sleep. Sleep is critical to the superhero bodybuilding process. If you don't get enough sleep, you can increase appetite, you could break down muscle, you could have all kinds of immune problems, and it's very, very catabolic for you. I highly recommend that you get 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single night. This is non-negotiable. Getting good sleep and quality sleep during the 5 stages of sleep, including REM, will make the difference between getting results on a program or not getting results. Some great quality sleep enhancing tips include number 1, no blue lights before bedtime. Don't look at your cell phone, TV, laptops at least 1 hour before bedtime, because that blue light has been shown to disrupt sleep. Number 2, sleep at the exact same times every single night to maximize your body's circadian rhythm. This can allow for better sleep as well. Number 3, keep the bedroom very cool. You want to be crisp and cool and sleep better that way. Number 3, avoid alcohol and caffeine before bedtime. Number 5, make sure you don't eat too much food before bedtime. If you eat too much food, you may delay the sleep process. I would recommend not eating 2 hours before bedtime and drinking water instead. Also, meditate and pray before bedtime. You want to have an anti-stress, calming effect before you go to sleep. It'll allow you to sleep better, so you want to be in that kumbaya, that zen zone right before sleep to maximize it for optimal body and health. And finally, you got to make sure that you don't have a magnesium or vitamin D3 deficiency, because these nutrients have been shown to disrupt sleep when they're deficient. Speaking of vitamins and minerals, now we get to the last S in NESS, which is supplements. Supplements are exactly what their name implies. They are a supplement to a good nutrition, exercise, and sleep program. Supplements help correct nutritional deficiencies and allow you to get a super physiological effect. Some great superhero building supplements include vitamin D3. Vitamin D3 has been shown to improve bone function, help immune health, brain function, and even reduce abdominal fat to give you that 6 or 8-pack. Then we have protein, which we discussed earlier for building muscle and helping you lose fat. You actually only burn fat inside muscle tissue. So the more muscle you have, the more fat you can actually burn. Number 3, fish oil. Fish oil is critical for anti-inflammatory effects. It can help joint and tendon function because of the anti-inflammatory effects. It helps brain function, and what's really interesting, according to some research, DHA found in fish oil can actually modify certain muscle-building genes, allowing you to get bigger, stronger, and maybe even faster. Probiotics are huge as well. Probiotics improve gut function, providing good bacteria, and allow you to improve immune health and total body wellness. You got to make sure your gut is right. Then we get to creatine. Creatine is the most well-researched ergogenic aid on the market today. Creatine has been shown to increase muscle size, increase muscle strength, power, speed, delay fatigue, buffer lactic acid, and new research is showing us that it can actually protect the brain from concussions, which is fascinating data. It helps energize cells and can also allow water to draw inside muscle cells, increasing cellular hydration, more anabolism. Finally, we have vitamins and minerals. These are great safety nets to prevent any deficiencies. Now, there you have all the pieces to that superhero body puzzle. And when all those pieces are working synergistically together, then you can truly achieve maximum superhero body success. So whether you're Batman, whether you're student man, whether you're corporate man, whether you're Wonder Woman, super mom, or entrepreneur woman, understanding your body deeply and customizing a program for you can be the guiding light to getting and staying in superhero shape. Up, up, and away!